Hashem, His name will be blessed forever and ever. For the next 30 minutes, till 7, Bezrat Hashem, we are going to talk about the laws of Hanukkah. So, I started with saying that in order to see and understand the importance of Hag Hanukkah, there's a case, let's say, with someone that is very poor and he can afford menorah, Hanukkah, the oil, and he wants to be exempt. He says, Rabbi, I don't have money. If I have money, I have $10, I'm going to buy food. He has other plans for the money he has in his pocket. So what we tell them, he be exempt from lighting candles for Hanukkah? The halacha says, even a person that is so poor that he will have nothing to eat unless he is given charity, must find a way to fulfill the mitzvah of kindling Hanukkah lights. You hear that? The halacha is not lenient about it. Even if it means that he must sell his only shirt in order to obtain the necessary materials, or to pawn his only shirt for that purpose. Alternatively, he must find some labor to perform to earn the money for this purpose. He must obtain enough material to kindle at least one light on each of the nights of Hanukkah. On Hanukkah, what we do? First night, one candle. Second night, fourth night, 4. He can afford only one. So we tell him, you can fulfill the mitzvah by lighting one every night. 8th night, at least one. It's the minimum required. So no excuses. He must obtain enough. They say, okay, once he has obtained that much material, he is not obligated to sell his needed possessions to kindle more lights to fulfill the mitzvah on the level of hamehadrin. Hamehadrin meaning this is the extra we adding every night. The custom of kindling more than one light in order to, God bless you, in order to fulfill the mitzvah in a higher level than the basic requirement. Hamehadrin min hamehadrin. Hamehadrin means beautifying the mitzvah. So some like to use olive oil, which is best. Some like to use pumak. Pumak is olive, but it's a little bit, the level, it's a little bit less than regular oil. They sell it in stores for food also, but the level is a little bit less. It's darker. It comes from, I think, from the 3rd round or the 2nd round, I don't remember, of pressing it. Pumak. P-O-M-A-C-H. Pumak or something like that, yeah. It's in the stores. You can light all oils you like. It's fine. But best of the best is the extra virgin oil, cold press. Something that we would use for your food, for your salad. Spend for a bottle, I don't know, $20, and you have, I think, will be enough for whole Hanukkah. Okay. We're moving on to how many candles. In total, our sages taught that the basic mitzvah of Hanukkah lights for each household is to kindle one light each night. Just an example for the difference between Ashkenazi and Sephardi. You go to Ashkenazi house, you see many Chanukiot, many menorot. You say, what's up with that? I have one. These guys have like 6 or 7, sometimes even 12 or 13 or 15. Every member of the household has, according to Ashkenazim, a mitzvah to kindle Hanukkah light, right? Shoshana, how many menorah you have?
Now only 4.
Now only 4. You used to have more. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol nihyo b'dvaro. So, in the Sephardi and Yemenite, they have one for the whole house. It's enough. I'm skipping because I know this is something we already covered. We're skipping to the next one, which is the proper position of Hanukkah lights. Every year, Rabbi, where should I put it? In the kitchen, in the living room, by the door, by the gate, in the garage, on the entrance of my house, on the roof. Where should I put it? So, what do you think? Where one should put his menorah, Hanukkah? On the window. Why on the window? And which window?
To show.
To show the miracle. What if I live in 12th floor? Which floor are you living? What number? 7th? Well, people won't see it. People walk like that, they won't be able to see that. So you're not actually advertising the mitzvah. Or someone that has a window, but he has a yard, and then he has a big fence. No one can see it anyways. So what people do, what some people do, it depends on the neighborhood you live in, if you feel comfortable to do that. They take in some sort of aquarium, made out of glass. They're lighting it, they're putting it at the gates or on the table. So how they're advertising the mitzvah, this is what usually people do in a Jewish neighborhood, because the mitzvah is to advertise for Jewish people. Right? What if no one can see, or there's a lot of hostile people, or you don't feel comfortable to do that in your neighborhood, or nobody can see anyways, so you light in a place that everybody in the house walking through and can see it easily. So you can choose living room, the kitchen, it's up to you. Okay. Remember, we're not putting it on the floor, not on the floor. How high? What's the minimum required? We'll see. So it is preferable, according to the halacha, that Hanukkah lights be positioned no higher than 10 tefachim, 80 centimeters, 32 inches, I explained that 1 second, from the floor of one's home. If, however, someone placed them higher than this, he has fulfilled the mitzvah. The light should be positioned no lower than 3 tefachim, 24 centimeters or 10 inches. Tefach, when I say the word tefach, it means this is the tefach. Fist, tefach. So 10. It will be around 10 inches. Okay? I'm sorry, not 10 tefachim, 3 tefachim. 1, 2, 3. That's around 10 centimeters. Or it will be, I'll say 24 centimeters or 10 inches. Okay, makes sense? 3 tefachim, 3 fish, it's 24 centimeters or 10 inches. Above floor, from the floor. Sorry?
Not taller than what, Rabbi?
We'll see it. I'll give you the exact measurement. Not too high in the house. Some people have a high ceiling in the house. So they want to put it on the second floor. We'll see. We'll get to it in a second. If someone positioned the lights within 3 tefachim of the floor, some poskim rule that he has not fulfilled the mitzvah whatsoever. But others rule that although he should not have kindled them in this position, let's say put him on the floor. And this one says, what happened to your candles? What happened? What do you mean what happened? Or I let them, I kindled them 3 hours ago. They gone. No, but why you did it on the floor? Do I need to relight them with the beracha again? He has fulfilled the mitzvah nevertheless. In practice, if someone did kindle his light this low, he should extinguish them, raise the level of the lights and kindle them again. But he may not recite the blessing a second time. Remember, every time when we get to a question about bracha, blessing, which is rabbinical law, did I say bracha or I didn't say bracha? What do? You don't say bracha again. Because you might say Hashem's name already. Can't say Hashem's name in vain. It's not just, did I do She'akol Neh B'Dvaro? I don't remember. Oh, let's do it just in case. No. It's better don't say bracha than say it twice. So if you have doubt, we're lenient. Say, don't say bracha again. But if it's mitzvah from the Torah, and you're not sure, you have to say bracha again. For example, Birkat HaMazon. Birkat HaMazon, after we eat, we have Birkat HaMazon. And I'm saying, did I say Birkat HaMazon or I didn't? You have doubt, you're not sure, do it again. Because the mitzvah is from the Torah. Ve'achalta, you eat, ve'savata, you're satisfied, u'verachta, you should say the beracha. Because this law is from the Torah, when you're not sure, you have to say it. You got the idea here? rabbinical laws were lenient, Torah laws were strict. Even if the candles are positioned within 3 tvachim, 1, 2, 3, of the floor, as long as the flames of their lights are above 3 tvachim from the floor, it is acceptable. The main concern is the height of the flames of the lights. Now, trying to answer Shoshana's question. It is forbidden to kindle Hanukkah lights more than 20 cubits. Okay? This is cubit. Amma. Extreme amma. It's around, I would say, 10 meters. 10 meters. It is forbidden to kindle Hanukkah lights more than 20 cubits above the floor of one's home. If someone did kindle this light higher than 20 cubits, 10 meters, from the floor, he has not fulfilled the mitzvah. He must extinguish those lights, place the candelabra in a lower position, and kindle the lights a second time. What about the blessing? No. However, he may not recite the blessing a second time. Now, when measuring 20 cubits, it is the height of the flame that matters, and not the height of the base of the candles. So this the candle, you can't. Okay, should be not too high, not too low, in a height that people walk and see it regularly, naturally, with no issue. So, where's the best place to put in the house? The best place would be next to the door. Under the mezuzah or the other side? Under the mezuzah or the other side? What do you think? Everybody know what mezuzah? You know what mezuzah is, right? So where should I put it? Under the mezuzah? Or I'm talking from the outside of the door. When I close the door, the candles are there. The halacha says on the other side. Why on the other side? When you walk between, you are surrounded with mitzvah. And you have 3 mitzvot on you. Mezuzah, Hanukkah, menorah, and the tzitzit you're wearing. This is a time of Kedusha, receiving a lot of Kedusha. The preferred method of fulfilling this mitzvah is to kindle the Hanukkah lights outside of the doorway of one's home, within 1 tefach of the doorway. They should be positioned on the left side of the doorway and when facing it from the outside, right? So you have right side mezuzah, and here I have the Hanukkah light. So let me explain to you. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly facing it because you won't be able to close the door. If the mezuzah is here and you put it half a foot away, it's okay. It's still corresponded. It's still the opposite side. It's fine. You got the idea, right? So, the doorway. They should be positioned on the left side of the doorway when facing it from the outside, so that when someone enters, he found the mezuzah on his right and the Hanukkah lights on his left. In this way, whenever someone exits or enters the home, he is surrounded with mitzvot. How many people live in the house and they forget they have mezuzah? It's a mitzvah from the Torah. Kiss the mezuzah every day. There's a lot of segulot that people want success in paranasa and livelihood, to put the right hand on the mezuzah before they leave the house to work. And there's something you say, and it gives you much power to succeed that day. Many people don't know that. This is especially so if the person is wearing talit katan, tzitzit. For then he is surrounded by 3 mitzvot. This gives him a special spiritual boost and the strength to remain strong in his observance of mitzvot, even in the face of difficulties. This is our sages' interpretation of the verse in Kohelet, Ecclesiastes, and it says 4:12, a rope woven from 3 strands will not quickly unravel. If I take 1 string, I can break it. 2, it's harder. 3, it's almost impossible. It's very hard. So 3 mitzvot, It's very, very strong power for us. Someone whose home is not on the ground floor should place his Hanukkah lights by the window facing a public thoroughfare, or in the balcony facing the thoroughfare. That's it, right? Thoroughfare. So that he advertised the miracle to all who may walk by while the lights are burning, although the window is higher than 10 tefachim, 10 tefachim, 10, not 3, from the ground. He still fulfilled this mitzvah in this manner, in order to prevent the wind from blowing out the lights when he kindles them outside on the balcony. He should enclose the lights in a glass case. So don't say, just put it there, if the wind blow it up. No, you have to take care of it. Now, knowing that the wind can extinguish the lights. Make sense? Remember, not too high. People are living in the high floors. Don't put it on the window. Nobody can see it anyways. Okay.
Rabbi, if you're on like a high floor and you don't have windows anyway, so you can put it next to, should you also just put it next to either a door or in the living room?
A door in the living room or in the kitchen or wherever you feel comfortable to put it. Inside the house. Okay. What about a guest? A guest coming and he needs to fulfill the mitzvah of Hanukkah. But the people in the house that hosting him, they already have menorah. What he should do? Even if someone is a guest of another family, even if he is provided with his own room, with a private entrance, he is not obligated to kindle Hanukkah lights in the guest room or at the entrance. Rather, he must acquire a share in his host oil or candles. So what you should do? Give money. He says, listen, where is your tzedakah box? I want to participate in the oil and the candle. Here, there is $1, $2, $5, $100, whatever you feel comfortable to give it, you're participating. If you insist, he says, no, my minhag is to do it every Hanukkah. I don't want to miss this mitzvah. And they let you do it in your room, you do it in your room. You're fine. Some people bringing their own when they travel on Hanukkah, they're taking with them the menorah. Do it, no bracha should be said. Okay? No bracha. You do it in your room without a bracha. Some people mistakenly think when they go to the synagogue, they see the gabbai lighting the candles, and they say they fulfill the mitzvah. Did you do your Hanukkah light? I did it in the shul already. Have to do it at home. Why they do it in the shul? In order to remind people, to advertise the mitzvah. It's not something that you feel. It's not like Kiddush. If you heard Kiddush in the shul, fulfill the mitzvah. If you heard Havdalah, but Hanukkah, it says, Ish uveto, a person, a man, and his household. It must be done at your residence, where you live. Special mitzvah. Okay? I ask this question every year. In order to have a minyan, you heard the word minyan before? Minyan? 10 people. I don't want to daven now. Start shachrit, mincha, or I have to have minyan. How many is a minyan? 10 men, right? 10 men. Without them I can say no kaddish, no. Not, you're confusing with the tfachim, and I'm talking about minyan. Not 10 centimeters in tfachim. Minyan, 10 people. Make sense? Everybody knows that. Yeah. I can tell you that I can be 4 men and 6 women, and we have a minyan. Did you hear about that before? The woman can complete a minyan?
4 men?
I have 9, let's say I have 9 men, and a woman show up in the women's section, in Ezrat Nashim. Can I say to the Shliach Tzibur, the Chazan, the Cantor, you can start. Oh, but we're only 9. Yeah, but just one woman showed up. We're 10. Go ahead. Can we do that? Yes. Absolutely not. We can. Is it reforms, conservative? No, right? But I tell you, there's a situation we can have this woman part of a minyan. Even 6 women and 4 men. 5 or 5. In which case? Which case required a minyan? Not in the tefillah, not in prayers. Now when we read the Torah, when Hanukkah candles. Hanukkah in the shul, you have to advertise it in front before 10 people. It could be women, 10 women, it could be 10 men or 5, whatever. So when we get to Hanukkah lighting menorah, you can have women as part of a minyan. That's the halacha. Did you hear that before? This is what we're here for. In the western wall, in the Kotel, there's a big menorah. There's one of Chabad and one of the other people that are lighting. It's a great mitzvah. It's always between Mincha and Arvit. It's a big thing, big deal. The wife asked her husband, we are ready. Can you light the menorah? He said, oh, I don't need this today. They gave me the honor in the synagogue. I kindle the menorah. It was 50 people. I got a mitzvah. What about us in the house? I already fulfilled the mitzvah. I said with brachot. I said brachot in the synagogue. You expect to say brachot again? I said Shladlik Ner. I said Shechianu. I said Alanisim. 3 brachot. Is he right or wrong? He already said the brachot in the synagogue. 30 minutes later, his wife asking him to do it at home. Oscar is saying he has to do it at home. Halacha is no individual can fulfill his personal obligation to kindle Hanukkah light by kindling light in the synagogue. So you're right. Even the individual who kindles the lights in the synagogue and recite the blessing over them must nevertheless kindle lights at home as well. By the way, it's also in Kiddush. See people doing Kiddush here in Shabbat. They go home, do another Kiddush. It's no problem. For the mitzvah of Hanukkah is to kindle lights at one's home. He must repeat the blessing before kindling at home as well, for the sake of his family members who did not hear the blessings in the synagogue. Okay. Any questions so far?
So with the bracha as well?
Absolutely. You must say bracha at home.
Rabbi, I heard that there are people that light the candles the opposite way, meaning that they start from 8, and every day that passes they...
No one does that. It's in a very famous debate in the Mishnah between Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai. The house of Hillel says you go from first and you go up. It says Ma'alin Bakodesh, meaning in things that in Kedusha, that related to Kedusha, holiness, you just go up, you can't go down. So you always add. In Kedusha you add. You put tefillin here, and then you put tefillin of the head. Because the tefillin of the head has a higher Kedusha than this tefillin. Alright? So you go higher. Which has a higher mitzvah? Talit or tefillin? Talit or tefillin? Tefillin. This is why you start with talit. And then you go up to the hand. And then you go up to the crown, the head, the tefillin of the head. In Kedusha, you go up. Levels, 1, 2, 3. Same what Hillel says. And Bet Shammai, I don't want to go through the argument, says the opposite. You should respect the day and start with 8, and then you go down. Eventually, everybody do like Bet Hillel. Rabbi Fried mentioned argument and debate. This is one of them. But bottom line, we need to reach a conclusion. And there is a reason why the Talmud is full of questions and answers, because they could give us the bottom line. Usually the Shulchan Aruch is the bottom line. Rambam is the bottom line. Why you need to give me all the argument if we're not going to follow this opinion anyways? Rabbi Eliezer said that. Rabbi Nosson says that. Rabbi Yehuda says that. And the halacha is like I said. So why you bring me all these opinions? Many reasons. One, for us to learn what was the other opinion. Secondly, people say, if some rabbi will rise and say that, they might accept his opinion. So, no, look at the Gemara. He said his opinion and we didn't accept it. You understand what's going on here? It's important to hear and also to encourage people to ask questions. All the time. In Judaism, we love questions because we want you to be confident and sure about your belief, about the mitzvah that you're doing. We never reject someone, you got to believe. Go figure it out yourself. Here, you don't ask questions. Get out of here. People ask questions. Moshe himself, people questioned Moshe Rabbeinu. If you do it in the proper manner, with respect, and the proper way, it's no problem. The rabbi always said, anybody has questions? You want to ask questions? Please ask questions. Sometimes we beg, ask questions. Want to make sure that you know, you understand, and you have no questions in your mind. No doubt. Okay. Bye. Okay, so we covered that. What's the minimum? How long the lights should be minimum? Lit. What's the minimum? 15? 50? Huh? 30? 30. Everybody agree 30? Everybody agree? The minimum required is to put enough oil or to have candle that will lit at least 30 minutes. Minimum. Obviously, the longer, the better. On Shabbat is not like that. On Shabbat, you must put enough. So when you come back from shul, it must be light. Because when we leave the house, by the time we come back, it's at least an hour and 15 minutes to hour and 30 minutes later. Otherwise, one will come home and he would never see what? The Shabbat candles. No? You missed the whole point. Hanukkah, also, when you have Hanukkah and Shabbat together, what you're going to do? You add more oil to the Hanukkah and more to the Shabbat regularly, because you already know, to make sure when you come back home, you have Hanukkah and you have, who is it? From the news, maybe from the news. Tell them that I can do the interview later. Okay. You know, it's one that he's careful about candles. There's something very special about candles. You should know that. Other religions copied from Judaism. There's a lot of secret behind it. You can make connections even with soul, the other world, through them. I'm just giving you titles. It's very important to make efforts to light candles. You know, I'll give you one example. There was a guy many, many years ago. His name was Kish. Kish. Kuf, Yud, Shin. Okay, Kish. And he noticed people, I'm talking about a few thousand years ago, don't go to synagogue much, the Beis Midrash, or they leave early. Why? Because it's dark. I have a good excuse. It's dark. It's dangerous. He says, I want to take care of it. He spent out of his own money, oil. He put it on the streets, big jars. Now you have no excuse. There's light. You spend much money every month. And people start to go to shul, go to the synagogue, staying late, studying together. Beautiful. And Hashem says, I'm going to pay this guy back. And he gave him a son. And his name was Shaul. Shaul. And Shaul was the first king of Israel. Tzaddik from the tribe of Benjamin. What did he do? Just oil. I said, no. Oil has significance thing in Judaism. So, make efforts with candles lights, candles in Hanukkah and Yom Tov and Shabbat, when Yortzeit, someone passed away, or the neshama of the soul of a tzaddik. It's a big thing. Not everyone that light candles now is going to be able to make a connection. You need to know how to do it the proper way, to say the proper wording when you do that. Okay? But today, Baruch Hashem, in the Jewish Sidurim, Jewish book, you have all the information to read and to say and make this special connection with God. Okay? Also, candle is connected to the own neshama. On one day we'll talk about it. Bezrat Hashem. Okay, we have 2 more minutes. Some poskim rule that it is not necessary to fill the menorah in the synagogue with enough oil to last half an hour. Why? It's just to advertise. The main mitzvah is in the house. But as long as the light will last until the congregation finishes reciting Arvit. Arvit usually finishes in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. That is sufficient to accomplish the advertising the mitzvah, for which these lights were kindled. If the lights are still burning when the congregation finishes reciting Arvit and leaves, and now the Gabbai is looking, he's about to close the door, he's looking at the menorah and says, whoa, they put so much oil, it's going to last for 3-4 more hours. I don't know, I don't freaking leave fire in the shul now. I don't feel comfortable. Should I stay here till 4 hours to guard it, to watch it? Can he extinguish it? It is technically permissible to extinguish the lights at that time, and it's not necessary to wait until they have been burning for half an hour. Even the half an hour, it's not necessary. It is preferable, however, to refrain from extinguishing the lights until they have been burning for half an hour after dusk. What I did in the shul, we have the menorah. We put enough oil and we left it there. We put it just in a safe place where you have no worries. We made sure that the window is closed. One day some of the guys opened the window because he felt the smell, I don't know, the smoke, and we almost have an issue because the curtain was waving toward the candles. Very easy to get the whole place burned. So make sure you do a mitzvah, it's great, but your life is more important. Safety, it's more important. Okay? Any questions? Last minute. Even if there are less than 10 men in the synagogue, but there are some women, or if there are children who have reached the age of chinuch, it's around 6 years old, in the synagogue, if the total at least 10 Jews, the menorah may be kindled, the blessing may be recited. Remember what we said about women can complete a minyan? Make it as a riddle on Shabbat table today, this week. When a woman in Jewish Orthodox can complete a minyan, trust me, most of the people at the table won't know. You know why? Because they don't study halachot. This is why. Unfortunately, even people with big beards and big hats and jackets don't know simple halacha. They're focusing on, which is great, it's wonderful, it's necessary, it's needed on Gemara, but simple halacha, we'll practice every day, they don't know. Or Tanakh, they don't know the Bible, they don't know the Tanakh well. If the pasuk is not in the Talmud, they won't know it. Unfortunately. As long as 10 Jews are present, male or female, adult or children, the concept is of advertising and publicizing the miracle is accomplished. Let me just finish this. If there are 10 men in the synagogue, but 3 or 4 of them have already been present at the kindling of Hanukkah lights at another synagogue, they nevertheless count as part of the 10 in the second synagogue to allow them to kindle the lights and recite the blessing. The concept of advertising and publicizing the miracle is accomplished in this manner as well. And it happens usually in the big shuls when they have 5 or 6 rooms and they do tefillah here and prayers there. Someone finished mincha there, he already participated, and when they ask him, hey, can you help us out when the candles be the tent? No, I already... It's fine. for Hanukkah purposes, you can be part of the minyan. Also for prayers, but that's another time to talk. Any questions so far? Go ahead.
Is it Kish? Is the name of the father of the Shaul? Kish?
Yes, Shaul ben Kish.
Kish.
Shaul was a great level. You know David HaMelech. David HaMelech was a tzaddik. Who can speak against David HaMelech? Nobody. Talmud Masechet Moed Katan said that there was a greater tzaddik, a little bit better than David. Who was it? Shaul. Eventually, something happened. We can't judge anybody. Things messed up, but he was a very, very high level Shaul, the first king of Israel. You see how important it is to spend money or efforts on our children, or for mitzvot, regardless the kids even. Hashem one day is paying back, and you don't even make the connection. There's problems, God forbid, in the house with children, with, I don't know, someone sick, God forbid, anxiety, depression, you name it. People today have a lot of package, a lot of problems. Don't give up, don't despair. Do mitzvot. One day, Hashem is pouring all the reward back to you. You keep the mass majority for the next world, but you're going to start seeing good things coming to you. Due to the mitzvot you just did a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years, you never know. And make efforts to do chesed, kindness, chesed. That's what Hashem loves. Chesed. You don't have to be a great Rabbi, or chesed everybody can do. Okay, we have Bezrat Hashem a shiur tomorrow about the Zohar. So those who are watching us on Facebook Live or Zoom or participating, coming, which is much more important, you get more reward. At the Granite House, it's going to be Bezrat Hashem tomorrow, 7:15 p.m. every Wednesday, 7:15 p.m. And we are talking about very, very interesting topics. And I'm mentioning all this kind of stuff. It's from the Zohar, from Kabbalah. We're talking about curses and blessings and all that. Very, very important. You can watch our classes, 1 or 2, about it's the second class about curses. We send it on the WhatsApp group so you can watch them. Please don't hesitate. Come and join us. What brings beracha to one's house is that he's occupied with Torah and Chesed. On behalf of Ohev Israel Foundation, I want to bless you. It was very important. Everybody showed up today. Unfortunately, not everybody. Nobody could make it. But Bezrat, I want to wish you to finish the process ASAP. You need to be serious about it. It's not a one thing, 1 week, once a week. It's a daily thing. You're changing your lifestyle. You heard the Rabbi, the Abba Bedin, says something very important. It's something that you practice. Because along the way, you might say, it's not for me. But how do you know? At least you were here for a year or two. You know it's for you or not for you. It's not just 1-2 weeks, you give your certificate and you become a Jew. No. You're changing your lifestyle. Okay? So if your neshama is in the right place, you will feel it. Go ahead. Beta, what's his name? David Ben Grisha? Bezrat Hashem, this Torah class, this Torah one thing will be for Refuah Shelema, spirit recovery for David Ben Grisha, and all the other names you want to mention, you can mention now. It's an opportunity for you. Give tzedakah on his behalf. A few dollars, whatever you want to do. Soon we're going to get you, we're working on it, a tzedakah box, nicely. So you can put, when you light the candles or during the day, tzedakah to help other people in need. Shavua Tov.